how does the game change for you when you're the only conventional big man on the floor?
I have more situations in the pick and roll. You know, we pick and roll with our fives a lot, and we like to keep the floor spread and, you know, get into our drive and kick game. And I was able to get in the paint a lot more, and, you know, I think it really opened up my game a little bit. The jumper really wasn't there in the first half, but it came eventually, and, you know, I was just able to get in a really good flow.
Defensively, what kind of pressure does it put on you?
To work. You know, it's we're always going to have to work, but against Timmy, you know, he's always going to make it tough on you. He's always going to play that two-man game with him and Tony Parker, him and Ginóbili, and you know, not only do you have to you know, do your job on the defensive end by sliding your feet on the pick and roll coverage, you have to get back, get in front of him, hopefully, try your best to really push him out, and you know, play defense.
Dave.
Chris, 20 and 13 tonight, and you might have just answered it a little bit. What is the difference for you tonight than other nights when you're, you know, getting half of that earlier this series?
Well, I mean, I don't think it's just the disposition, first of all, with myself, and then everybody else. You know, those things are going to follow. I don't really pay too much attention to the numbers. It's just how I'm doing, the energy and effort that I'm giving out there, and everything else falls into place. I always believe that if I bring the necessary energy, things will go well.
Jeff on the right.
Chris, Jeff Kaplan, NBA.com. You mentioned your disposition, and you said, I can't remember if it was a few games ago or the end of the Pacer series, that you were thinking too much, that you weren't going to think anymore. You're just going to play. I'm just wondering, with your game, from game to game, how much is it mental that you do think about in terms of the aggressiveness and assertiveness with which you play each game?
Well, I mean, you know, I want to play well every game. I want to play to the best of my ability, and sometimes that doesn't happen. You're going to have bad games in a long stretch, especially during the playoffs. And that's when you kind of really have to trust your game and trust what got you here. I think before, I was really just trying to force some situations, thinking of how I can really get going, and it doesn't work like that. I just had to really trust my instinct, trust my teammates, and just continue to play and just let things happen.
John, in the back.
Chris, John Krasinski with AP. What is it about this team that responds so well after you've had some adversity, and do you feel like you share something with the Spurs in that regard, the way that they have responded to a couple of losses in this series?
Well, I mean, every team is different. I think with us, we've always kind of been under that microscope, and just really dealing with those things. It's all about how you respond. Ever since we've gotten together, since the first game, we had to respond to adversity, and that's just something that we pride ourselves on, and we really concentrate when things get rough and they're not going like you want them to go. That's when we pull together even more, and we just rely on each other and really pick it up.
Chris, right here, Emilio Perez, Top Deportes. You seem very happy tonight, very comfortable, offensively and defensively, very different from the other games of the series. How did LeBron and Wade help you out to looking for you at the start of the game that got you going?
Well, I mean, just like I said, in the pick and roll coverage, you know, we made it a lot tougher on those guys by being aggressive, getting to the rim, rolling to the rim. And eventually they had to make choices, and those guys believe in me. They gave me some great passes. I was able to catch and finish, you know, in a lot of traffic, and those are really the buckets that we really need against this team, because, you know, we've been settling a little bit too much and just going downhill, being aggressive against them, and really finishing around the rim, finishing around the paint, then spraying to our kicking to our shooters. It really worked out for us tonight.
What can you do to stay motivated between these 2 days off from the next game? Because this has been a series of ups and downs emotionally for both teams.
Well, Game 5 is going to be a big game. And I think we just have to stay in the place that we're in. Whatever place that we were in after we got smashed on Game 3, we need to stay there. We need to know what got us this win tonight. And we need to keep it, We need to think about it, and we need to continue to talk about it so we can keep that edge and bring the necessary energy for Sunday.
Bryant, last question in the middle.
Chris, when LeBron's in here yesterday saying, I've got to be better, and all the media saying LeBron's got to be better, I mean, are you feeling that way too, or are you and Dwyane saying, it's not he, it's we?
I mean, it's a fine science to that stuff. Of course, everybody's individually going to say, I have to do better, but of course, we're not going to leave him on the island. We know he has to do better. We have to do better as a team and individually. And it's good that he puts so much on his shoulders because, he can man up to it, and he's mature enough to handle that kind of situation. But he's never alone. We're out there with him. We support him. And we know what he's capable of when he's locked in and when he's motivated and playing good basketball.
Thanks, Chris.
Thank you.